Stage 4, the Santos Tour Down Under moved out to nearby Norwood to start the 149-kilometre stage to nearby Campbelltown. A veritable tour of the Adelaide Hills as the field rolled away in the usual neutralised formation.
Number 23, the ochre jersey, firmly on the shoulders of Richie Porte with a 20-second advantage as they had made their way into this almost 150-kilometre stage.
Off to a very fast start as the riders headed away from the start in Norwood Parade, and very soon there was an attack underway. Jack Bauer in the blue here from New Zealand, followed by a mountain biker, now roadman, Ondrej Sink from the Czech Republic, and the third rider was Cameron Meyer of the UniSA team, a former overall winner of this event back in 2011. First challenge of the day, Checker Hill after 25 kilometres, and they were clear of the field when Sink attacked for the Subaru points.
Not surprisingly, with gradients approaching 13.5%, this former mountain biker riding his first ever professional road race jumped away from everybody to get himself maximum points over the top of the climb in front of a massive crowd.
Great atmosphere as he came up towards the top of the climb. He was clear of his two breakaway partners, but he would wait for them once over the top, having put 10 points in the bank in the Subaru King of the Mountains. No change overall there. That competition still being led by the overall race leader, Richie Porte. The trio made ground over the field, and by the time they came into Birdwood after 37.5 kilometres under the iiNet sprint, they were leading by 2 minutes. Little bit of a hop, skip and a jump across the common on the Adelaide Hills, while the peloton, now down to 1:35, were beginning the chase back.
Most of the pacemaking was being done by Team BMC, the team of the overall leader Richie Porte. They did not want to give the three men in the breakaway group too much of an advantage because Ondrej Sink from the Bahrain team was only 57 seconds behind in the overall standings at the start of the day.
Into the Powerade rehydration station, approximately halfway through the 149 kilometres. The field were in no urgency here to bring back the three escapers. So by the time they got to Mount Pleasant, they were still holding a 1.5 minute lead after 91 kilometres. And again, no sprint. They just passed in under Indian file, Meyer, Bauer and Chink.
As they started to get to the critical part of the move, all of a sudden there was a big acceleration came from Cam Meyer, because I think the tactic was to try and get rid of Ondrej Sink, who was the best rider in the overall standings, but Jack Bauer in the blue jersey of Quick Step Floors was really attentive.
So they got rid of Sink, and once they did get rid of the Czech Republic rider, they had a little bit of a confab, and then they decided to try and stay away all the way to the finish in Campbelltown. Two very strong bike riders using their talent of individual time trial riding. But then as they came into Lobethal, the lead down to 45 seconds, a message from the team car of Cameron Meyer called him back to the pack, and Bauer was forced to ride alone. There was a slim chance he could succeed on the long descent from Lobethal down to the finish in Campbelltown.
Yes, down the Gorge Road. They held on to an advantage for 45 seconds for a very long time, but as they started to smell the chance of a victory, the teams of the sprinters started massing at the front end of the main field. Then all of a sudden, 3 kilometres to go, and it was all together.
He failed by a very narrow margin, questioning whether indeed they should have called back Cameron Meyer, because two may have succeeded. Under the 1 kilometre to go, Bennett, it was again going to be a battle of the fast finishers. This was a difficult finish. It was slightly uphill. The boys in black were trying to lead out Danny Van Poppel. Van Poppel broke very early for the finishing line and tucked in behind him the red jersey of Caleb Ewan. No sign yet of the world champion, Peter Sagan. And as Caleb Ewan come to the line, Peter Sagan burst out the pack to snatch another second place to the man who is now arguably the fastest sprinter in the world, bumping and barging as they came up to the line.
Yes, that was Toons on the right-hand side. They're almost coming to grief against the barriers, but look at the acceleration of the man who leads the iiNet sprint jersey competition in that red Laidless jersey there, getting the victory, and that was 3 stage victories in just 4 days.
No change in the overall situation. Richie Porte keeping his overall lead. And after 4 days of racing, Caleb Ewan has won 3 of the stages. Just now, he cannot do a thing wrong. he really is the champion of the sprinters, and in the last 2 days he has beaten the world champion Peter Sagan.
Yeah, I really couldn't have asked for a better start to the year. My team again did an amazing job. They really backed me on a circuit that could have gone either way, and I think you saw on TV, they were really committed to the chase and they were committed to winning today. Yeah, all the victories I've had in the past few days have all been thanks to the team. Without them and without their support, obviously I couldn't have got the victories that I have. So it's a victory for me, but it's also a massive victory for the team.
Yes, it was indeed. His team is Orica Scott, and the overall situation remaining the same. No change at all, just 20 seconds split. Richie Porte from the second place rider, Gorka Izagirre. But the man of the day again, for the third day out of possible 4, the youngster from the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, Caleb Ewan, on top again. The ochre jersey, well, that will remain on the big showdown day tomorrow over in Wollonga in the McLaren Vale, where Richie Porte has not been beaten for the past 3 years. He's rather hoping that will continue tomorrow. If it does, he will win this race when it ends in Adelaide on Sunday.